I think Drake's case isn't as good because once you start to introduce art, you open up a can of worms that I don't even think you're ready and willing to deal with, right?
Hot tea, hot tea, hot tea, hot tea, hot tea.
All right, let's see what DJ Akademiks had to say about this new Chris Brown lawsuit against Warner Bros. Y'all better like the video. You better subscribe. Let's get it.
A lot of people didn't hear about it, but it was a documentary that accused and was trying to do what they did to R. Kelly when they did Surviving R. Kelly. Keep in mind, I believe it came out after Diddy got arrested, and we all knew that what kind of preemptively jumped everything into motion with R. Kelly was that documentary. Once Diddy got, clipped, I think that was an attempt in the timing and the release of it to possibly have something like that happen to Chris Brown. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think a lot of people these days, they either like Chris Brown or they've seen him go through so much trials and tribulation, and they know, number one, he's paid his debt to society. He got incarcerated. He admitted what he did wrong. He took accountability. Looks like he's made some effort to try to get better. And I don't think people, and I'm talking about just regular people, I don't think regular people just hold that against him, right? However, it is held against him, it appears, when we talk about opportunities. He's often talked about, they don't want him to perform at award shows. They don't want him to blah, blah, blah. They have taken him off certain shit. So they dropped this documentary, and this documentary clearly it didn't have any substance to it. That's another reason why I didn't go. It brought up certain people making accusations, but none of them really held any water. So it was just a bunch of people just saying, he did this, he did that, but there wasn't much really there. You get what I'm saying? Now, we could read through this a little bit, but essentially they were promoting that this nigga is like a goddamn abuser, right? Now, the reason why Chris Brown's filing this lawsuit, and the reason why I do like this lawsuit, is that this lawsuit is going to be going directly at the publishers of this documentary, because this documentary essentially put out a bunch of unproven facts and possible lies that definitely has, maybe not in the mind of people, affected Chris Brown's legacy, career, or whatever in terms of what a fan would think. But most likely, if there were companies that were finally getting past the 2009 incident, I believe it was 2009, where him and Rihanna got into it, this kind of brought it back up, and I'm pretty sure he lost out on opportunities business-wise, and I'm pretty sure that could be proven through whether emails with his agents, conversations, or business deals that were on the table that got removed. So that's why he's filing this $500 million defamation suit. Again, I'm comparing it slightly to the Drake thing because I think Drake would have a good case if two things, right? If Kendrick was just tweeting, if Kendrick was a streamer, I think there'll be a great case. I think Drake's case isn't as good because once you start to introduce art, you open up a can of worms that I don't even think you're ready and willing to deal with, right? Again, usually art in certain sense is a protected form of speech that, it's not meant as really just declaratory statements. It's meant as kind of expression. So if Kendrick had just tweeted it and he sued him, I would completely think that Drake would be probably going to win that, right? Because it's music, that's what I'm like, Then the second thing is, I think that Drake's lawsuit, I don't really like it because he not suing the nigga who said the shit. If you're gonna sue, you gotta include everybody. You should put the engineer, Mustard should be getting sued, okay? Mustard on the lawsuit, okay? That's what really should be happening. Mustard should have got sued. Kendrick should have got sued. Now, again, I don't like the suing for music, right? And I still think that's not going to pass. But that's where I'm seeing the differences between this Chris Brown lawsuit and the Drake lawsuit. The Drake lawsuit, I think Drake was trying to keep his cool and be like, all right, I'm trying to keep his cool in rap, which might have completely backfired. I'm not suing Kendrick, I'm suing UMG and hoping that people would be able to differentiate the difference and kind of root for him. Instead, everybody just said, yo, this is weak, right? Chris Brown's lawsuit, I think, is very well put together, and also the basis of his lawsuit covers all grounds. Hey, I'm going to sue the production company, okay? I'm going to sue Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm going to sue even Apple for having this being available and publicizing it and promoting it when these type of, as they call it, sensationalized, unfounded, and defamatory allegations ended up hurting his career. And again, where's the proof, right? Now, by the way, the next thing we're going to get into, and we're going to get into after this topic, is Diddy doing the same thing. So we're now seeing like these entertainers basically almost try to keep what they got going on, and they're filing lawsuits back, right? Now the Diddy stuff I'm gonna talk about because that kind of goes a little bit in a different lane. So let's stick with the Chris Brown stuff, okay?
All right, so yeah, I put out my video yesterday about this Chris Brown lawsuit, and I agree with Akademiks. Chris Brown has a legit case on his hands versus Drake, where all of the accusations that he's throwing at UMG and at Kendrick Lamar basically are protected under art. And you saw when UMG responded to the lawsuit, they said, we feel like Drake is trying to block another artist and his right to put out Not Like Us. So Chris Brown and Drake might have a defamation lawsuit, but the claim of defamation is stronger in Chris Brown's suit. With Chris Brown, this was 100% a attempt to put out a surviving R. Kelly type documentary. And it was also feeding on what just happened with Diddy. I said that in my video too. If y'all want to go check out my video and hear all of my thoughts on the Chris Brown lawsuit, y'all can check that out, because I went and brought up what some of the people have been saying about that documentary. But I'll give y'all a quick summary. I feel like they were trying to capitalize off of the Diddy shit and the whole year of exposure. And they was like, well, who can we bring up? Oh, let's bring up the Chris Brown shit again. Let's see if we can get a little bit of clicks and juice out of the Chris Brown situation. And we know everything with Chris Brown is stemming back to 2009 with Rihanna. And everything that they talked about in the documentary was an allegation, and it's all been proven false in court. Not to mention, he's even suing Apple and anybody who distributed the documentary. And why it's so dumb on Warner Brothers' part is because, number one, the reporting in it is so shabby, but you ain't make no money off of that. Nobody talked about that doc. Nobody gave a fuck about this doc. Nobody watched it. I didn't see anybody like on Twitter or online saying, hey, you got to go watch the Chris Brown doc. I didn't even see a lot of people shooting it down for all of the lies it was telling, because that's how irrelevant the doc was. So you going to end up paying out more money than the doc made. And he looking for $500 million, which is stemming from future revenue. I'm sure Chris is saying, this hurt me psychologically. This is a great stress upon my life that y'all keep bringing up all of these stories about me. I'm a father. Give me my $500 million. Y'all don't know what kind of business and contracts I had coming up that this little unknown documentary could have fucked up. Give me my $500 million. And like I said, he ain't got to get the full $500 million. If he get anything close to 100, it's a win. Now, you also heard at the end Akademiks said, and just like I've been telling y'all, since the Drake lawsuit, and he didn't say since the Drake lawsuit, but he talked about the celebrities filing these lawsuits. We got 6ix9ine, we got Chris Brown, and he even said now Diddy is suing. Ever since Drake filed that lawsuit, and it might have been filed to petition, because y'all know it takes time to put lawsuits together. When Drake filed that petition, everybody else was like, we on alert. Whatever we can sue for, let's do it. Now, granted, maybe the Chris Brown situation might have already been coming up because the documentary came out, I want to say sometime last year. So maybe it was taking them time to really put together a solid, case. But I'm just saying, it came out, like, the timing was very convenient because it came out after Drake filed his official lawsuit. And that's all I'm saying. The same thing with 6ix9ine. I just don't think that's a coincidence. But unfortunately, Drake's defamation lawsuit, it looks weak. And it looks weak on all fronts. It looks weak in hip hop. It looks weak on him as a man. It looks weak on him as a rapper. And it looks weak on paper. Even the fact that Drake was bringing up, shit that happened on DJ Akademiks stream. Oh, it was some guy on Akademiks stream that said he used to bot for Kendrick. But like, where's the real details on that? Oh, YouTubers, they, made reaction videos. Drake's lawsuit feels like a bunch of social media shit that they copy and pasted and put in a lawsuit. The craziest thing is, imagine how much Drake is paying in legal fees. Imagine, I feel like when I read Drake's lawsuit, I could have put that shit together. And I don't probably make 25% of what Drake's lawyer made from Drake putting that shit together. It's weak, bro. And the biggest thing, it's going to be protected under art. And so what can you say? I'll be surprised. See, I thought Drake had a better chance of settling out of court. And I also thought Drake had some shit up his sleeve and something that the public didn't know. But as the clock ticks on, I don't really know what's Drake's ace in the hole when it comes to this lawsuit. And like Joe Budden said as well, we don't even know really what Drake wants. Do you want to get out of your record deal? Do you want to get away from the label? Do you want to go independent? Do you want Kendrick to suffer? Are you really suing Kendrick because you also trying to play it like you not suing Kendrick? It's so many questions, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. Y'all like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.